Are you ready?
I am MW, and this is my world. And today is Story Time Sunday. That's where I tell you the stories that's in my head, and I bring it out to you. So, last time we left off on the mercenary, it was episode 6, and they just kicked out Johnny and James. So, they kicked them out the village because they accused Johnny of killing Yukamari's father. So we're going to pick up from right there. So let's go. Johnny and James is packing their bags. And Johnny turns to James and he was like, so what we going to do next? He said, well, I've been planning my escape since day one. He said, I learned how to hack certain banks. So I've been taking little by little money at a time so they don't notice. So he said, I've been doing this since I was 7. And now they're 13. So he's been pretty much collecting money for a good little while. They got it to about 50,000. So he said, money is not a problem. He said, where do we live? He said, we'll figure it out as we go. So as they're leaving the village, he take one good look. And Lynn, waves at him, goodbye. And she walks by Mari's side, and they just take off. 10 years later. You can see Johnny, he's gotten taller, a little more muscular, and James is still the same. But James, he got way better with the computers, and he stays in Johnny's ears through his missions. So you see Johnny meeting up with this organization group called Save the Children, because they didn't set out, they want him to kill this guy. He's revered as all the biggest charity organizations. He helps the kids. He donates blood. He helps the homeless. But what they don't know, except for that organization that's hired Johnny to kill him, is that he sells kids on the black market. And he also specializes in selling women, little girls, to the highest bidder. So the organization called Save the Children wants this man dead. So Johnny meets up with them, and he said, it's going to cost you. And he's like, you should do this for free because it's for the children. And Johnny's gotten heartless over the years. Johnny said, I don't give a fuck about the children. I want my money. I'm a mercenary. So Johnny says it's going to cost you $50,000 to get this man killed because the mission is kind of a high stakes mission because the smallest mistake can get him killed or land in jail or get him tortured for information. He ain't trying to go for all that. So $50,000 gets this man killed. He wants the money wired to his bank, and after this is over, they don't know each other. So they agreed to the terms, and he said, if you don't wire the money to my bank when the mission is done, I will do to him what I'm going to do to you. So they say, done. So they scoped the place out. It's a 50-story building. And Johnny is talking to James in his ear. He's relating information. Security is low. The man is so cocky, he actually sits by his bulletproof windows because he just assumed nothing ain't going to happen to him. So Johnny said, how am I supposed to shoot through bulletproof glass? He said, well, I have this bullet called the second chance. Now, this bullet, you shoot through glass. When you hit the glass, it sticks to the glass, and then it drills a hole into the glass. The explosive side is through the glass, and then the back side opens up like a fan. Then there's a small little ignition area that you have to shoot with another bullet. He said, it doesn't explode outwards, so you can shoot it at close range. It's not going to hurt you. But from people on the other side of the glass, it's going to be like Inferno's fire to them. So he said, oh, cool. He said, how am I supposed to get inside? He said, security's low. You can pose as a window washer. No one's not going to know the difference. He says it's a 50-story building, but the man's going to be on the 40th floor. He said he always sits by the bulletproof glass because he figures he's safe. So Johnny walks in his disguise as a window washer, and he walks right past security. Nobody really bats an eye, no, whatever. So he gets on the 50th floor, and he's setting up his equipment. He got rope that he can rappel down from. He's not even using that thing that window people use, that thing that lowers down.
Oh,
Yeah, that thing you sit on while you clean the windows. Yeah, he's not even using that. He's using old-fashioned rope. So he ties that on, and then he carries with him at all times his dagger, his 2 handguns, and for this particular mission, he decided he was going to carry a Uzi, just in case you gotta do crowd control. So he loads. He said now when the gun that's marked number 1, that's just where your second chance bullets are in. And the gun that's marked number 2 is where your regular bullets are in. So he said, remember that at all times. Your left hand is your second chance. Your right hand is your regular bullets. He said, done. So he peers down. He gets to the 40th floor, and they having a meeting. Long table stretched as far as you can see. Big ass room. And only 4 people are sitting at the table, 2 on each side. And then at the head of the table is the guy. Now the guy name is Mark. We can call this man Mark Steen. No, that's what they call him. So soon he gets down to the glass, he knocks on the glass and he turns around. The guy stands up cocky as shit. He said, man, what are you doing? Bulletproof glass. And he's like, he makes a little thing with his mouth, you know, on the glass. You go, he marks, I know. He pulls out the gun, shoots it into the glass, and when the shooter sticks, he said, man, see, I told you. I said, here. Then he looks down, he kicks off the glass, and then he shoots the bullet, it explodes. The whole glass just shatters. Glass is shattering, hitting him, hitting the other 2 guys, other 4 guys, knocking them down. Then when Johnny swings in, slides on the table, shoots the 2 guys on each side, doom, 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 doom. And the guy that was sitting on the back of the glass, Mark Steen, falls down on the conference table. When he trying to raise up, gun to his head. And he said, by the way, doom, shoots him in the head. I'm about to get paid today. So he talks to James, said, hey James, the mission is done. Make sure the money is wired into the account. So James get in contact with people, Save the Children, and it was like, you should be doing it for free. He said, we just killed Mark Steen. We're not afraid to kill you too. So a few minutes later, they wired the money to the account. Now with all this commotion, police are coming, firemen are coming, everybody's just rushing out the building. So Johnny climbs right back onto the 50th floor, gets his bag, gets his disguise, and walks out the front door. No problem. As he's walking out, he sees Lynn. Lynn turns around and looks over at Johnny. She said, long time no see. And he is stunned because she's looking gorgeous in his eyes. You know, she gotten taller, a little curvier. You know, she looks like an adult woman that he would love. So, yes, adult woman. So he was like, how you been? You know, he's kind of lost for words. And James is screaming in his ear, who's that? And he said, it's Lynn. She said, oh, is that James? Tell him I said hi. And James in his ear, get out of there. Don't contact with her. Get out of there. And Johnny is trying to ignore him. So he's like, so what you doing here in town? She said, oh, I just heard a little birdie told me that you happen to be in town. So he said, no, are you still working with Yukamari? And then they got an awkward silence. And she was like, why do you ask? So he takes a step back and he grabs into his dagger. He said, depending on how you answer this question, it depends on how I'm going to react. Are you still working with Yukamari? And she just sighed and she was like, oh, you know what? I always did like you. And she grabs onto her whip. And her whip is now as modified. Since over the years, you know, everybody got modified weapons because, you know, the better you get, the better you can customize your weapons. Her whip is now plated with metal. So it's pretty much, if this whip hits you, it's like it's shot with a bullet. So she grabs the whip and then she just whiplashes at him. And when she does, people are running out. 2 people got hit in the back of the head with just the one hit. of the whip. It went through this guy's skull and came back out. Because now she got a sharp point at this whip. It's more like a sword whip at this point now. So when she does that, he dodges his lift blade. It's like, doom, doom. Two people fall down. And he turns around and he grabs his dagger and like he's whipping back at the, he's hitting the whip that's coming at him. It's like, and he starts taking off. You know, he grabs his gun and he's shooting back at her. And she uses a human to block the bullets, using it as a human shield and start firing back. He flips over a woman and she gets shot 2 times in the back. And he pushed her towards Lynn as she's running after him. She jumps over the woman and shot at Johnny, and he just turns the corner real quick, and he's hiding behind the building. So she's like, "Come out and play," and he's like, "Why are you doing this?" She said, I'm just following orders." So he's shooting back at her, and she hides behind a building too. She said, "Come on, Johnny boy," and she started loading up her bullets. Now she got an Uzi that she carried with her, a shotgun, and that whip. So she pulls a shotgun from her bag and she started loading it up. She got a stock barrel shotgun. Those are the ones, you know, where it's pretty much you can load it like a automatic, but it got 20 rounds in it. I love those weapons. So she's firing back at him and he's to start taking off again in the alley. Now they also know parkour too, so there's a ladder that's hanging from the alley. Damn, sorry about that, y'all. A ladder hanging from the alley, and he wall jumps and grabs onto the ladder, start climbing up. So she's under him, starts shooting. They caught him in the thigh, and he rolls onto the roof. He takes his shirt off and he just ties it onto the bullet wound, and he just keeps going. She wall jumps up there, gets up there, and start falling. Now they're running on top of the building, jumping from building to building to building, until he runs out of space. So he's shooting back at her, and she just fearless, just running at him full speed. Now he got excellent aim, but she's also smart too. And she's back, she's not. She's made sure she's moving at all times. So he sees that he can jump from here onto a car. So he jumps down onto it, because he jumps on down to a moving semi. And it's not that high up from what the semi is. He just lands on the semi, almost falls off the semi, but he hangs on. So she like, shit. So she slides down, jumps onto what's those called? Those balconies. Jump onto a balcony, then jump onto the ground and start taking off. She carjacks somebody and just start following after him. He's on top of the semi now, and he think he's safe. All of a sudden you hear, doom, doom, doom. She shoots the driver of the semi, and the driver of the semi just start going, driving crazy on the road, knocking other cars out the way. And he's hanging on for dear life. And he looks down and he sees Lynn shooting at the semi driver. So he stands on top of the semi and starts shooting onto her car. And he hits the glass, and now she can't see. So she jumps out of that car and just barrel rolls the car, and it's knocking over all this traffic. And the person on the motorcycle was right. He just stops before the car even hits him. She kicks the guy off the motorcycle and just takes off, and then gets on top of the semi. She rides on top of the semi, and she takes a whip and she whips onto the semi of the rearview mirror and just climbs up from there. Gets inside the truck and starts driving herself, trying to shake Johnny off the semi truck. Johnny jumps down and starts shooting at the glass, and she just kicks the glass and starts shooting on top of the semi. He rolling out the way, and now he's confused. He don't know what to do at this point. So he's talking to James, and James said, "If I were you, you got one more shell of those second chance left. Shoot that somewhere on the semi. Maybe it might blow up the semi and kill her in the process." And he didn't really want to kill Lynn. He loved Lynn back then. But he said, if she's trying to kill me, shit, I might well try to kill her too. So he on top of the semi, and he got one more left of that second chance bullet. So he said, fuck, I'm going to take a chance. He jumps onto a moving car, and the moving car gets in front of the semi. Now they go into a tunnel, And when the moving car is trying to shake him off, he just hanging on for dear life, and then he gets in front of a semi, and then he just turns up, look at her, and just boom, shoots a chicken chance bullet, hits her right in the sternum. Then it drills into her, opens up, and then she looks down, she looks over at him, and he said, "I always loved you." Boom, hit right there in his chest, and just blow her whole sternum up. And when that happened, the semi truck just blows up in the process. And there was an oil rig truck that was in there as well. When that semi truck blew up, it blew up the oil rig truck and just blew an inferno ball all into that tunnel. And the car that he was on top of started speeding immediately. And it just barely made it out the tunnel before that inferno caught up with them. So many casualties, a lot of deaths. Military showed up. No evidence of what happened took place. And when he jumped off the car that was taken off, he killed the person, so he won't tell nobody. And when he drove into a safe location away from the police, when he got the car, he sees Yukamari, Blitz, and Alejandro waiting for him. He looks up, still got that bullet wound in his thigh, and he was like, Yukamari. Yukamari said, "I told you, next time you meet, one of us is going to have to die." End of the episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, share. If anything I can work on, let me know. First time doing an action scene like this, so sorry my words getting mixed up. If you didn't follow, I will comment. Really? I will comment trying to explain how I was trying to say the action was trying to go. If you understood, I appreciate it. Make sure you check out episode 8. I'm going to leave episode 6 around here somewhere. Just pick the area. And I am MW. This is my world. Peace.